Alrighty, I think this is working. I am going to do a quick test here real quick just to make sure that I am streaming. Um, but while I do that, let me just say hello and welcome to part 2 of the Silksong Steel Soul 100% stream playthrough here. Yeah, welcome. Last one I did a recording. This one I'm doing my first stream for. So give me a moment to just verify that it is working as I expect, and that I am indeed streaming. Because I definitely do want to have this recorded. It looks like I am. So that is quite exciting. And yeah, pretty hyped about that. But welcome. If you did not catch us last time, we've only played a little bit so far. I'm sure there will be many more beginnings to come as we are killed over and over and over again. Yeah, we're making our way through Steel Soul here. So if you're not caught up, it just means that I've got to play through the whole game 100%ed without dying here. Which is going to be a tricky challenge, but we do have some things going for us. I've played the game a couple of times before, and yeah, let's just chat about where we left off last time. I'm here at halfway home. If you're not super familiar with the game, that means we've got the dash, we've got the hover, I've got some tools here. You can see that I've kind of been to the Ant Kingdom. I did go ahead and grab both the fractured mask, which is going to save me if I would die. I kind of get like a extra heart at the end here to possibly protect me, as well as the curve claw that I did pick up. I might change that out here for flint slate. In fact, I think I am going to. Chatting a little bit about what I'd like to do in this session, and I might go farther than this, but at least where I would like to start is by the next bosses we have are Moorwing, which is at the end here in Greymoor, as well as Sister Splinter in Shellwood. And then after that, the only other ones in Act 1 that are really left to fight are Widow and Last Judge. And that... Yes, Widow is necessary before that because I do need Harp to trigger the Last Judge fight. Theoretically, I think I could beat Act 1 just by going straight to Phantom from here. I do think there is an argument to doing that. I think it's going to be probably easier for me to do Widow and then Last Judge. Oh, and sorry, for... I will need the Harp to do Phantom as well, because I do have to make it through the Mist, which is like a little puzzle area that you need the Harp for. So either way, to kind of sum it up right now, we're going to be fighting, I'm going to go fight the Greymoor boss, which I said just a minute ago, Moorwing, and then I'm going to make my way over to Shellwood. We're going to grab Sister Splinter and the wall jump here, Cling Grip. And then with that, a lot of Act 1 kind of opens up for us. There's a little bit more that opens up for us if we can get Widow and get the Harp from her. We can go into like all the weave nests, which is very helpful. But I think to start, I'm going to get the Cling Grip item, and then start working on getting like some masks before I fight Widow. I do have the Fractured Mask here, which means I'm in a better defensive position than I usually am fighting Widow. But I would still love to kind of secure my confidence in that win with an extra mask if I can. So there's a couple places that we can go once we have Cling Grip. And so the goal is to grab that Cling Grip, get some masks, and then come back and fight Widow. So yeah, I think that's my plan for today. Hopefully we can beat Act 1 in the next like hour or two. And then start making our way through the Coral Chambers. For now, fighting Moorwing, I'm going to go ahead and take off the Magma Bell here. It's going to be really helpful for Last Judge, but for now, I think I feel pretty good about my ability to bind in front of it, so I think I'm going to go for Druid's Eye. And we'll just take it from there. Also, as far as mask fragments go, I believe I have 2. I do have 2. So... if I recall, we still have one to purchase from Peb down below, and then I'll get another one in Shellwood. So theoretically, those are the 2 mask fragments I'll get. and that will get me to our desired 6 mask state. And then I think I'll feel pretty comfortable taking on Widow. So that's my goal for the day. With Cling Grip, I think there's some other places we can get mask fragments as well that open up to us. Off the top of my head, though, I'm not recalling the specifics of which one that is. But we do have a plan to get a full mask, so I'm not too worried about it. I believe it's actually... We can also get some more money in the Beast Crest if we wish, which might be valuable because I would like to... get like some Ava bonuses before Act 2. So if you're not aware, Ava is this like little NPC down near the beginning of the game. And as you get crests, and more importantly, as you get like the ability to add tools to your crests, so that's like either from getting new crests or from getting the memory fragments that let you like unlock a tool slot for your crest. As you get those, Ava will kind of offer you more bonuses. A lot of them are upgrades to the Hunter's Crest specifically, which doesn't matter if you're using a different crest. But some of them are also just like permanent, you always have an extra tool slot available upgrades, which are really, really strong. Normally I would fight Morwing with the Hunter's Crest. I am tempted to go ahead and get this, but we will get this later, I think. That is a Reaper's Crest here, which is very helpful. It's a very defensive crest, which is really positive for Steel Soul, I think. But there is a section of the game that requires you to use the Hunter's Crest. So I am like kind of incentivized to practice with it as I can. It's actually a part where I died last time, despite practicing all game with it. So I feel kind of extra incentivized to make sure that I am good at the Hunter's Crest. So if I keep practicing with it, I think that'll be ideal. I'm gonna take a quick detour through here to get the both this passage and the Bell Beast like travel location unlocked. Lore. Honestly, like I probably don't need to go to this area. Gosh, maybe I shouldn't be. That was a lot of damage. Alright, hold on. I gotta focus for a second. I messed up there. I messed up there, folks. And you can see that guy, and he wants to kill me. He wants to kill me. He wants to kill me. Okay, we're back in business. Not choking anymore. Yeah, so this area, in my opinion, is like very difficult to navigate through if you're coming from the other direction. It's very much built to be like a catacombs, I guess like puzzle type thing. Oh gosh. But luckily when you're coming from left to right instead of right to left, there's like a few passages that you can open up, that you've seen me opening up, that I haven't had to like navigate around. And normally you do have to navigate around them on your first playthrough, coming from right to left. So this way I can kind of like ignore this area, while also still getting the Bell Beast opening, and most importantly, the memory locket. Because yeah, as I was just talking about Ava, the memory lockets are going to help us get some of the Ava upgrades. I believe I need 12 slots in order to do the first set of upgrades, which is just a Hunter's Crest upgrade. And then I think 20 and 27 are for the like permanent tool upgrades. Or permanent tool slot upgrades, I suppose I should say. On that, okay, this guy's gonna be here again, make me very sad. We're just gonna ignore them. You should do that in life more often, by the way. Ignore your problems, because sometimes they do just go away. And sometimes they corral on a location on the screen that you're not gonna go to anyways. And sometimes you go the wrong way, and then see a giant guy, but you know what? I don't find that relatable to real life. I have gone the wrong direction, and I actually have no idea where I am. But you know what? It's fine. We're so fine. And if I dash, I'll dash into a trap, which is why we don't dash. See, I knew where I was going. Alright, so now I got Morwing here. Morwing is a cool boss. Does a lot of 2 damage attacks. Has a couple of things here to watch out for. One is this, that little sweeper attack he sent out. On second, it's not strong now, but on second phase, he's going to send out 2 of them. And they both send out at different angles, which are really scary. He also has that dive attack. Very easy to dodge if you see it coming. Very hard to dodge if you don't. So, luckily, if you do see it coming, it's kind of low damage. You'll see he also like does his little shout before he leans towards you with the stabs. So that one's not too rough either. Really nowadays, I just find the double like spinning blades to be tough. Oh, well, he still is just going for 1. I guess he decided since I said it was too tough, he'd cut me a break. Oh, no, there it is. You'll notice that second one, like, kind of goes at a meaner angle, I feel. So I have very often tried to avoid it, only to, like, get caught in it. If you're wondering about the fire, by the way, that is the Flint Slate. We picked this up because I avoided Lace in this route. Another reason we need to make it to Sinner's Road eventually is so we can see the Lace cutscene. But also while we were down there, we got the Flint Slate, so I can deal like fire damage and also just like extra damage for a period of time as I activate it. And yeah, now we're in Bellheart. We got to see one of the 4 cutscenes in the game, and by see, I mean you got to see me skip it, which is just as hype. Bellheart, you know, if you have not played this game before, they've got a curse going on. There's some creature at the top of this area that has them all entranced in thread. We've got to put a stop to it. And obviously you put a stop to it by completely ignoring it and going to a different area, because you actually can't do anything about it yet. And so that is what we shall do. Good luck, folks. So we're going to move straight on here to Shellwood here. Shellwood, I really do like kind of the atmosphere. It's very funny to me that I think this is one of the harder areas in Act 1, because it's just so peaceful. Admittedly, all the enemies in this area are fairly pushover-y. It is just the area design that I think is really tough. There's a lot of tricky platforming. There's those guys who throw the spears, admittedly, are pretty accurate. And there's just not a lot of room to avoid them. But we've got the pathing down, so we don't have to take too much time to wander. Also, notably, you'll see these like purple flowers. I'm going to collect a couple of them on the way to the first boss here. We will eventually need 6 of them, or all 6 of them, in order to complete a quest later. So we're going to collect some now, but that one that we just passed is one we'll have to come back to once we have a power up. Yeah. This is also kind of teaching you both about some of the enemies here. One of the things I really like about the design of this game, and this room in particular, is both these little leaf people and the like flower enemies are both enemies that you can encounter disguised as like twigs and flowers. And I really appreciate that this like room gives you a chance to both see the enemies and obviously be a challenge, but also kind of show you that these things are what enemies look like before you encounter them, which is really sick. It's a good game design. Begin our descent. Yeah, I'm pretty happy how this one has gone by so far. I think I'm gonna try to make it to Act 3 kind of as fast as I can. And to that end, like, I think we're making pretty good time. I did do the ant stuff, which is not necessary, but I do think very helpful. And I think eventually getting the Beast Crest out of that for the Ava bonuses is going to be pretty big. So yeah. But that's enough chat about Silksong for the moment. Let's chat about something else. I saw recently, if you have not heard of this really cool program called Strudel, I am a Doug watcher, and I recommend that you be too if you are not. But I saw him recently working with a program called Strudel where you could kind of like make music using code. And let me tell you, that looks so sick. I'm gonna have to learn to work on that, and you know, if I do and I end up getting good with it, maybe there'll be some strudel videos on the channel, or at least I'll upload a song I made do it if so. So that'll be exciting. Look forward to that. Got our little flea here. I'm just gonna go pick up the mask as well, which is in here. Look at this peaceful hallway with no enemies in sight and no danger. And a little danger, but just a little platform. Wow, how easy was that? It's so nice of Team Cherry to throw us a beam like that. We even got a mask for it. Wow, so easy, so nice. What? Alright, I'll stop. But I just think it's so mean when you're doing this in Steel Soul, because it's, like, I remember the first time I was doing this, I did not die to it luckily, but I was like, oh, suddenly this is really hard. And these enemies do 2 damage, by the way, so if you aren't careful with like your dive attacks and stuff, they can just kill you. And that can happen too. And that can happen too. Alright. And that can happen too. Oh my gosh. But we did kill all of them at least. Technically there's some in the next room, but they're more avoidable. Oh, but this guy is hard. Okay. And now we're kind of in the clear. Luckily these guys are not a big fan of water. That's how you know they're crit soda drinkers. Of course. Yeah. I need to heal off somebody. I need a kind and generous enemy to sacrifice itself for my health. Thank you so much. Kind of it. Alrighty. Fun fact, by the way, there's a, you can do like a little skip here. You can like drag this guy around. I don't know if we should be doing this. Like, if you keep attacking the wall, he like keeps trying to get to you. We'll see. You have to like taunt him with this, and then when he moves towards you, you like attack the wall, and then he keeps trying to get to you. And then I don't know how you get him under this like little ledge though. But like there was a way to, and then if you did, you could drag him up here, and you could pogo off of him and reach the top, which is really cool. But we don't really need to do that for 2 reasons. One is that I want to kill Sister Splinter, because it's a fun fight. And 2 is that we are under no threat of Sister Splinter, because I'm awesome. So there's kind of no point in skipping it. So we're gonna make our way back up here. There's not too much more to talk about in this section. We are kind of giving everyone the drive-by. Moving a bit past a little bit of platforming. Here is the area to Widow up here. Can't reach it quite yet since we don't have the clean grip bracelets, so we better go get those. Luckily I have fire. I actually don't know if that does extra damage to the plant boss, but I think it might. So we gotta find out! Oh, it at least set her on fire, which feels positive. I don't know if it does that for everybody though. I actually don't use this all the time. Fun fact, by the way, she can fall on you and deal damage to you. And if I remember, I'm not like certain, but I seem to recall that when she did 2 damage, her falling on you could also do 2 damage, which is so funny to me. Yeah, I don't know if spearing those guys is correct, but I do think it is the time under which I am in the most imminent danger. And so sometimes just like getting rid of an enemy feels pretty nice. And you'll notice we build our silk spear back pretty fast in this. Like, she's not exactly dodging us. And there we go! That was his first winner! Hey, got him up! There we go, folks. There's still a little platforming standing up between us and Clean Grip, but it is nothing to be worried about. I am gonna grab this little flower down here, though. It's gotta take advantage of the fact that there's still a little bit of new platforming it can teach us now, since we don't have effectively double jump yet. It's not quite double jump since you need a wall, but it's so close. There's a lot of platforming you can kind of just overcome with it. Wow, that was great for me. Alright. There we go. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is Clean Grip. I really want to, one thing I probably should do if I do repeat playthroughs, or I should say when I need to do repeat playthroughs, because the odds that I die and have to run through this again are not small. I do kind of want to set up either like splits, so I can just like keep checking my time recursively and see if I'm getting faster, as well as setting up a checklist. So I would love to kind of run through and know exactly what I'm doing next. Because like, for example, right now, I'm tempted to just go fight Widow, especially since she is right here, and I have the Fractured Mask. But like, I am also tempted to go get the Mass Fragment first, and that is admittedly probably correct. I am going to do this little challenge here. These little guys are like shockingly tough, I think. If you kill them, that little nest will spawn another one almost instantly. And I do find their attack pattern, like, it is just they fly at you. But I find that more difficult to avoid than I would expect. I mean, I did just take 2 damage on that. But now we've got 2 of the 6. Those are for a quest that we'll grab later. We don't have it yet, but we don't need it to grab the purple hearts, the polyp hearts. So I'll probably just go pick up the quest as soon as we have all 6 of them. Not gonna get all 6 now though. Some people really do like the charm that you get for it. It makes all of your other attack tools poisonous, so they do extra damage. It is really strong. But I do think I don't want to rely pretty heavily on tools, not because I think that's lame or anything. I think tools are a perfectly valid way to play the game, and I think it's difficult to learn to use effectively anyways. But for me, right now, like, one of the things that I worry about is focusing on trying to use tools and taking damage as a result. So I'm gonna try to save tools once I feel more comfortable using them, just so that I don't accidentally, you know, cause myself harm trying to activate a flint slate and getting called out on it. Here we are. There is another follow part over here. I think I am going to go ahead and get it. I feel like it's just too convenient to ignore. It does also let us open up a pathway to Showman as well. One that admittedly I probably will not use, but you know, it's here. I could do it to get my flint slate back online, but I don't know if I care that much about a single flint slate instance. I do think I'm going to be a little greedy here and fight Widow. That is just for viewers at home, just so you know, that is objectively incorrect. But it's also fun, so you know what? That means it's objectively correct. I'm going to go back down here because I do actually want to see if I can grab, I think it's a rosary string up there. Not like the most important, but it's not nothing. So we are going to grab it. I know this game inside and out. I'm crazy with it. Whoa. There we go. Oh, I can't grab the ledge because there's a switch here. It's news to me. Alright, I do not want to take that though. It is just on this path that we're gonna go back to the boss. Nothing else here, so we're just gonna run past people. And here we go. Widow is an interesting boss because she has like two major phases. There's a time where it will look like I've killed her, and then she's gonna instead respawn into phase 2, which is exciting. But also on top of that, she has a good mix of attacks that do a pretty significant amount of damage, with attacks that are very difficult to avoid. So a lot of these bells, for example, will bounce around, and they do damage both on the initial falling and on the bounce back up, which is tricky. That attack as well does another 2 damage here, but at least a little easier to see coming. You're probably going to see me like do my best to kind of avoid. There's going to be a lot of times that I can probably hit her, but because I'm not sure, I'm just not going to. And I think it's just because she's killed me enough that I don't really want to risk these things. Oh, this one's also kind of tough. Those do 2 damage. I find them not too difficult to avoid, but if you don't hover, you will actually fall into them before they go away. Ah! Well, there's 2 of my hearts. Luckily, she's still... The slash attack is obviously quite fast compared to the rest of her kit in this row, or in this stage, which is something I have to be very careful of. But aside from the slash attack, I mean, the rest of these are still pretty heavily telegraphed, which is nice. It doesn't mean their full path is telegraphed, so I just have to be careful. Oh boy. Alright, there we go. Oh, crisis averted. She just makes me very nervous. Luckily, we don't actually have to worry too much about her attacks until you hear the fractured mask break. That's kind of like break glass in case of emergency freakout mode. So until you hear that mask crack, we should be in a stance where we have a little bit of wiggle room to work with. I think that's actually one reason people use the mask. In my opinion, the mask is actually not all that great. It is a full like mask of health, which is quite nice. But for a blue tool, like having 1 extra health is not as impactful as like increasing your damage output or increasing the extra securities you have around binding, or things of that nature. But I think the mental of like, you hear the mask crack and now you know it's time to lock in is like actually genuinely really valuable. So I do use it for that reason, because it's kind of hey, it's time to think about what you're doing with your life and go bind immediately. And it's definitely saved me before. Alright, so now we have the needle. We have all the major power-ups for Act 1 now, so we can kind of just do anything. On top of that, we did also free Bellheart, as you'll see in a second. That gives us access to a ton of quests. It gives us access to our first nail upgrade and the only nail upgrade in Act 1. We've kind of basically just like opened up all of the Act 1 content at this point. I'm sure there's some stuff that we still need double jump for, I think. I know there's some stuff we still need harpoon for. Both of those are power-ups you get in Act 2 that you can take back to Act 1 areas. But there's not a lot in Act 1 that requires those, just a few things. So with that in mind, there's a couple places that I would like to go. Obviously I'm going to get the nail upgrade first, because that will just help us with everything else we do afterwards. But aside from that, we would love to see the Sinner's Row cutscene. We would love to get my 6 masks still. And we would love to go to Act 2. Yeah, that sounds pretty reasonable to me. As far as money goes, I think we're fine on money as well, which is good. Sorry, it's so funny. I feel like sometimes hearing the bell ring cutscenes are longer than like the actual cutscenes in this game. But you know what? It is an impactful moment. Alright. So now we're making our way back to Bellheart. We can see that you'll see the city in all of its glory. And here it is. Actually not all that much different. But there are some people around now. Let's see what quests we have. I know we have Silver Bells, which stinks. And we're not desperate enough for money for me to slave away in the mines. Missing Courier. We are going to need that for a nail upgrade in Act 2. It has a lot of requirements, and that is one of them. And then Kraba Clearing is a way for us to get a extra spool in Greymore, as well as an extra Silk Skill. But the Silk Skill isn't very good, so probably not going to use it anyways. So I'll think about taking that. But for now, I'm going to turn some of these and get some money. If I recall, actually, Kraba Clearing is also a way for us to get a tools upgrade, though. That might be worth it. We might go for that. You get a lot out of doing that. Admittedly, I'm combining Kraba Clearing and, like, breaking into the Kraba hideout. Kraba Clearing is just kill X Krabas. And so it kind of makes sense to do it when you're going into their hideout. But as a result, it's kind of like an area that gives you a lot of rewards as a result. So maybe we will check that out. But for now, we've got Needle +1, so there's a lot we can now safely accommodate. So let's go and do some of that. I actually do want to pick up our mask fragment first, though. I'm going to go back to Bone Bottom and purchase that from Peb. Yeah. Now you guys get to watch me do chores! I'm kidding. Aren't you excited? But that means it's a great time for us to chat. Let me just look over at my chat real quick and see if there are any questions. Sorry, you can't see me pantomiming and dramatically looking at my other monitor. Wow, no chat yet. That's crazy. What a great question, chatter. What do I think about this 6 mask? I think it's sick. That's actually a terrible question. How am I supposed to answer that? I want to do next. See, now the world's my oyster. Now I have decision paralysis. We could move on to Act 2. I do want to do Act 3 as soon as possible. But one of the other parts about Act 3 is that you have to, there's like a certain number of quests that you have to achieve to do Act 3. And so doing some of these quests is like helpful for me to getting to Act 3, even though I'm not in Act 2 yet. So there's some of these that it's like, yes, we are putting off going to Act 2, But if I'm right here and I can complete it really fast, it is gonna like benefit us down the road when I don't have to come back. Like killing this guy, for example. There is, of course, an argument that I should kill him when I have a better nail upgrade and can deal more damage faster. But I feel like he dies fast enough. Let's see. Now I also have to remember, though, where the other one. If I get close enough, obviously we can see the trail again, because I still have that little trail. But that is only if I get close enough for the trail. I think one is up here, like at the very top. And actually there's another, I think, memory fragment I can grab up here as well, now that I have clean grip. So that is good to know. So we'll schmosey on up here and get ourselves some upgrades. I do think this one is a little trickier. If I recall, it's in like a very awkward spot. So we'll see if I'm remembering that right. But luckily, I don't think these vault beetles are actually, or flint beetles are actually very difficult. So, admittedly, I don't know if it's kind to call them free, but they're kind of free. When I first played the game, I thought these guys were really tough, because it's like, oh, they have an explosion behind everything they do! And I also didn't have nail upgrades, because I did not realize you could upgrade your nail until, like, the end of Act 2. Oh, that's actually really bad. That's actually really bad. That's actually really bad! This is what I get for, you know, talking smack. I get smacked. This is a little risky. I think I am gonna try it though. Also, fun fact, I think that's the only place that that specific variant of guy appears. This is why it's a little risky. It's because the arena is just so small, and these guys do attack really fast when they spawn. Okay, but we're chilling. See, we're doing fine. We got our memory locket. Now we still have one more flint beetle to go somewhere, as well as I'm probably going to attempt to fight the Skull Tyrant while I'm here. That is like a boss that's kind of hidden in this area. It does do 2 damage. I should definitely go into it with full health. I do think that one is genuinely really tricky, even though like it's another one of those bosses that heavily telegraphs itself all the time. But it's also another one of those bosses that just casually deals 2 damage on every attack and has a ton of health. So, you know, better safe than sorry for those, in my opinion. While we're here, we can also do, as I don't believe I've done yet, Loki, which is a little parlor has been set up in the area. And we're going to go scam them out of all of their money, as any good citizen should. Here it is. Okay. Get your butt out of here. For a second, I thought it was gonna hit me before I got the bind through, and I was like, I cannot believe I'm getting bind caught even after he died. That's crazy. Okay. Yeah, here we are. This is the free money parlor.
Haha! Rankamentis ferret.
That's fine.
Says, I don't believe you can hit the target 15 times. And I say, bro, watch me. I'll do it for the vine. Fun fact, by the way, if you have played this game, I did not realize this, even though it's probably obvious to most people. If you have your, like a lot of the times tools are set to tool up, like up trigger or down trigger. In this mini game, it is just set to trigger, which is so nice. Because before, like, when I did this game and I didn't realize that, I would constantly feel like I had to be holding up or down. And that means that the odds that you accidentally walk in front of the line are actually pretty high. But if you aren't worried about walking in front of the line, like you can just, or if you aren't trying to hold up or down to use the tool, you can just take one hand completely off the control stick. And it makes that challenge a lot easier. Alright, so we got a tool pouch, which is great. And now I'm gonna go get the, I think it's like 100, I think it's just the 120, rosary necklace that we'll get. But you know what? That's still pretty good considering that we spent $50 to enter. Of course, at least right now, they'll only let me do it once. There is like a time that you can come back and do however many you can go without missing the target once. I kind of skimmed over the dialogue. At this point in time, I have like the ability to miss twice before the game ends. Or if I miss 3 times total, the game ends. So I have a little bit of leeway here. But when you come back, they're like, you've got 1 shot, make it count. And you just have to hit as many times you can before you fail. I actually don't know what happens if you can max it out at that stage. So I don't know, maybe it's something to try in the future. You may have noticed as well, though, that the target is fairly generous, which is quite nice. And on top of that, like, some of the patterns it does are pretty consistent. And so a lot of times, like, for these, I just kind of, like, watch the pattern of where he goes. He'll go between 3 spots, just pick whichever one looks the easiest, and then hit it. And then just, like, choke a little bit, just for demonstration's sake. And then go back to absolutely kicking butt. And now he's really fast, because that makes a difference for some reason. And there we go. To be honest, I probably should not talk so much smack about this. I did struggle with this quite a bit in the past. So if you're looking at that being like, I can't believe he's saying it's so easy, it's so hard for me. It was hard for me too. I'm just being a bit cheeky about it. While we're here, actually, let's go ahead and add some extra tools. Because I just like having, I feel like more tools and more options is always a good thing. Yeah. We just got a bunch of money. We got our first tool pouch. Fun fact, actually, you can get all of the tool pouches and crafting upgrades before Act 3. I definitely do want to get a bunch of them because I do think they're really strong. You can get a lot of them even before Act 2. The halfway home gives you access to both a tool pouch and a crafting kit that we still have yet to get. You can get another crafting kit. Where is another one? You can get one from the Forge Daughter in Deep Docks. And so that's, by the time you reach halfway home, theoretically, you can have 2 of each, which is just so strong. I know that you get another tool pouch from talking with the Fleetopia people. You can buy another tool pouch from Mort in the Far Fields. I think there's another one up for purchase. You can buy a crafting kit from Grindel in the Blasted Sands. That's the word I'm looking for. And then I cannot remember the condition for the last ones. Unless I have already listed all 4 because I'm being silly. I am rambling a little bit. Anyways, this is the Skull Tyrant. He's gonna get really sad when we hit his shell. And then he's gonna try to kill us. So that's gonna be a good time. He's got a couple attacks here. One is he backs up a little bit and charges at us as he's doing. Obviously has the jump. He'll always try to jump like directly on you. So you can just back up a little bit when he goes up. But this one is the tough one, which is where he drops rocks on you. Because he drops rocks, and then he does something else! And when they combine, they do a lot of damage. And when I get greedy, I take a lot of damage. Oh, that was not nearly as bad as I remembered. Well, easy enough. There is a second battle with him later, but a lot of the challenge from that battle comes from fighting him in an enclosed space. When you fight him later, he's actually out in the open, and he's shockingly easier to kill. But in return, you don't really get a choice about when you fight him. He just shows up at one of the towns. Alright, let's see if I have 5 fleas yet. Place your bets in the comments below. How many fleas do I have, and is it enough? It was enough. If you put a specific number higher than 5, I'm sorry, I don't know how to verify you. Let's see. If I go with them, they're gonna go to Greymore, and that is kind of where I want to go next, but I want to turn in some of these quests first. See ya. By the way, fun fact, if you really hated the Morwing fight, you could do the flea quest before Morwing, and the fleas will kill Morwing for you, which is really cool. This game just has like a lot of little things like that that I really appreciate. It makes the world feel very alive, in my opinion. Alrighty. We have some things to turn in. What other? I feel like we got a third quest from them. I guess not. Well, let's go get the money. I'm playing a little bit. You can tell that I'm like confident because I'm playing a little bit of recklessly and just kind of taking damage here and there. But I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it won't come back to bite us. Wait. Does she have anything else to buy? Craft metal, yes please. I actually really don't need that, but I know that there are conditions where Pep can die, and then all of her stuff goes to Grindel, who I think sells things at a higher price. So I'm happy to get it at a quote-unquote discount for now, especially when I have just like a lot of money sitting around as I currently do. We've got 3 memory lockets, and only 1 crest right now. I don't think we have enough to even think about getting any of the extra Ava stuff. Because I think like one of them is at 12, one of them's at 20, one of them's at like 27, and then one of them's at 30, 34, like you're maxed out with Act 2 stuff. Even still, I do want to at least get, I believe the first one just for talking to her is a Hunter's Crest. And that feels helpful enough for me to just go ahead and get, I think. I should also, with the current upgrades, if I recall, like if I understand the layout correctly, I can also just go ahead and grab a Mask Shard and a Spool, which would be really nice. If I can't with my current powers, because I don't actually know what exactly I need for them, I'll just come back later. It's not the end of the world, but it would be nice if I didn't have to. Yeah, sorry. Blinding light warning. A little bit too late. Blinding light warning. I don't think that's the last one. Just as a heads up. I think we're gonna get another one here to talk to Ava. As we barrage into her hideout. Where she says, "Help, Hornet! I've been shut in need for the last 10 years, or probably a lot more than that. Please deliver me my gamer juice so I can continue to Fortnite in peace. And we shall deliver her gamer juice of Cress. And there we go. So this hunter evolution is pretty fun. Basically, if we hit 6 times without getting hit, our needle will do more damage, which is exciting. It also means that we have to get good, because as soon as we're hit and things are already looking downhill, our needle strength will diminish. So it is very momentum based, we'll say. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and get my first power up here, which is past this guy. Okay, that was one spool. We'll probably get our second one from the Crapa clearing quest area. Yeah, because I don't have any spool upgrades yet. I'm spoolless! I made a mistake, Okay. Alright. There's another power up here that we'll have to come back for up there, but we don't have double jump yet. Come back for it we shall. I think while I'm here, I should still be able to get both of the power-ups in this area. So let's go ahead and do that. One of them is just going to be a Moss Berry. Not very exciting, but very helpful regardless. Oh, you see that one? I killed him in 4 slashes that time. And it's because I've achieved focus, or however you would describe the Hunter's Crest bonus. And now I have not achieved focus, and that's why I'm getting my butt kicked. It's so funny to me that they put these guys in the very beginning room, because I do think they are, like, genuinely difficult. It's so, like, they say that Hollow Knight is a tutorial for Silksong, and I feel like that's kind of overblown. I do think, like, the Moss enemies are quite easy, but those little spinners in particular are shockingly tough to me. Okay, we're back in business, folks. Alright, power up 1, and now we have a boss fight for power up 2. This is actually, I think, surprisingly tough, so hopefully I get it okay. This is just the tutorial boss, but 2 of them, so we'll see how it goes. The tough part about this one is because there's 2 of them, you can't... I think the first one is really easy because, like, the game almost, like, expects you to kind of face tank it a little bit. And face tanking is a lot worse for this one. Luckily, they almost made it look scripted. I killed one and the next one spawned immediately afterwards. That is not scripted. Often the second one will spawn before you kill the first. And that's supposedly the difficulty. But I guess I just killed it too fast, which doesn't happen all the time for me. But I will absolutely take it. And that, friends, was Moss Mother 2. And in return, I get a tool that I don't even really totally remember what it does. Increase the speed of silk regeneration. I don't know if that's just the silk heart silk regeneration or like actually attacking enemies, like if I get more silk for that. I would assume it's just the silk heart regeneration. Which, if you're not familiar, means that, like, you get these things throughout the game called silk hearts. I have one of them right now. Basically, when I run out of silk, I automatically start regenerating up to some level. Right now it's 1, which is why I have a silk right now. If I, like, taunt to get rid of it, you can see it regenerates. And so now, just for testing's sake, I mean, that was pretty fast. I'm also noticing that it did kind of give me an extra silk heart effectively. I wonder if that's actually like the core purpose of it, is I have 2 silk hearts now. And I'm not gonna say no to that. The silk hearts are more helpful than you might imagine. Because it does mean when you bind or when you use like a skill and you go down to 0 silk, like the first couple are free, quote unquote. So basically, a skill, for example, takes 4 spools of silk to use. What I can do if I have, for example, 3 silk hearts and weave light, apparently, I would be able to like use a skill, and then if it took me down to 0 silk, or at least less than 4, I would start regenerating until I had enough to use the skill again, which feels really good. Right now, when I only have 1 silk heart, though, I don't know if it's going to be similarly helpful. With only 1 silk heart, I mean, I'm changing the amount of silk I get from, 1 to 2. Which, like, theoretically is helpful. It means that whenever I heal, like, healing is a little bit more, more easy to achieve. Which is nice. But I still don't know if that's, like, worth it. You'll also notice, too, because of the way schools work in this game, sometimes I'll have more than a full bar to heal. So, for example, like, if I heal and I have 1 bar left, you know, then the silk heart doesn't matter. Or at least the first one doesn't matter. So, I don't know. I'll have to mess around if I think that's worth it. My other options at the moment are not very good, so like it very well could be worth it for now. But I think there's a lot of the defensive tool slot is a very competitive slot, shall we say? So that weave light is gonna have to pull a lot of weight for me to want to use it. But still, it's kind of exciting to be like, oh, there's new tools that I don't even like know it. There's tools that I still don't fully comprehend, that once I do fully comprehend them, it actually sounds like that is worth it. Because I thought it did just increase the speed of Silk Heart, and I was like, that's not really worth it. But if it gives you a Silk Heart, like, that's not bad. And the difference between 3 and 4 Silk is really big, because that means you can effectively use skills without engaging the enemy if you wanted to. Which I think actually would be super valuable for stuff like Silk Dash. I don't have Silk Dash, unfortunately, though, so, you know, not really helpful at the moment, but could be helpful later. Alright, so we got that. What do we want to do next? I kind of want to get some crests next. Actually, that's not true. I just want to move on. Let's just move on. We do have to ring... We gotta ring some bells. So we have to ring a bell in Greymore and in Shellwood before we fight the last judge. Or, if I'm feeling spicy, and let me tell you, I am, I could just decide to fight Phantom and go through the Mist. Now, if you're familiar with the game, you might be saying, what do you mean? That's a terrible idea for Steel Soul. Yes. Anyways, let's at least try to get this Krabba clearing thing real quick. I do think this will open up the path to another spool, and I do think that would be helpful. So I chatted with him. He said, hey, can you go commit a genocide? I said, absolutely. And now we're here. Oh, to clarify, these people are not, I'm not genociding for a job. That's just for fun. Yeah, don't worry. The actual quest is racially motivated, so. I realize, for YouTube that might be a little bit too edgy. So apologies if that is the case. I'm not really expecting to be monetized, but Hopefully that does not cause any strikes. In order to protect myself, I should clarify, I'm going to fight the crop bugs. And there's so many of them, I can only assume that I'm not actually killing them. I mean, I actually do think I am. Like, that is the lore of this game. But you know, I'm sure they'll be fine in this species. Sorry, I'm in the 2 reel. No, and in reality, one thing that's very fun, after I beat this quest, like, he's using these pelts to make a scarecrow, so he can scare them away from his roof. And you can go see it, and it's really cute, and it's very fun. Alrighty. I know there's also, so there is a flea up there that I would like to get. I think I'm gonna have to activate the ability to like go upwards in that area though first, which I'll do by beating this gauntlet. I love money. Alrighty. And here we are, into the gauntlet. Yeah, I don't know why, but I feel like in a lot of gauntlets, if you have items to collect from enemies, normally, like, they will not drop those items. But for whatever reason, they do on this one. I think it might be because in this one, Hornet doesn't have to like pick up the items. They just like drop them and you walk over them. Whereas like if you have to collect the coral chamber, like materials, or you have to collect the fine pins from the knights, both of those are items where like Hornet has to go pick them up. And in this one, you kind of just like walk around and she collects them. So I don't know. I'm sure they spawn at different things, but I'm also sure it was an intentional game design choice. They spent 6 years on this game. I sure hope so. Now we have the funny balloons, which let you bounce off of them. Now, you might, like me, ask yourself, why in the world do these people have random balloons that you can bounce off of? Anyways, we've got a lot of money here, luckily, so we are not hurting for funds. But now you'll see the balloons are not just inside, they are outside too, and the world is our oyster. That means we can crack open the world and retrieve a flea from our inner guts. And we got our wish completed. Alright, there's a couple other things here to pick up. There is the, like a silk force field type of thing at the top of this area. There's also, of course, the spool, technically in another area close by, but we have, in pushing up all of these balloons, we're able to like access it from an angle that is helpful to getting the spool. There we go. I am just face tanking today, but it's fine. No, it's not fine. Look, we're just getting all the bad gameplay out of the way before we actually fight the bosses. It's actually a strat. I do also kind of love the insinuation that breaking the Crawbugs home is effectively kind of just robbing them, which is why all the money falls out. I guess the idea kind of is that like they are more animalistic than the other creatures of Fartloom. So like they kind of are just birds and crows that collect things because they are shiny, but clearly they are still like smart enough to make tools. And I mean, the Crawfather looks like he's like a judge or something. So like perhaps they're even smart enough to have a legal system. And at the very least, we know the ants cannot speak either, and yet they also have like or at least cannot speak like common. But they also have like a complex closure system. So perhaps Hornet truly is just a hateful individual. In fairness, I think her kill count of irregular bugs is probably higher than the kill count of either the ants or the crows combined. Oh, I can't go up there yet. How do I get up there? I thought this was the way. Apparently not. Apparently I'm a silly folk. Let us see. I want my spool! I want my spool! Dude, that was so sick! I cleared that room so fast. Okay, I think this is the angle that we go to get there. Yo, Chalamet skip! Sorry, there's a different room where they have a skip called the Timothy Chalamet skip, because this guy says Chalamet when he sees you, and that's how you know you did the skip right, is because he'll see you. So he says Chalamet when he do the skip. Or he says Shaw, like a loser. I cannot believe I missed that. I don't need to go there anyways, though. Alrighty. I see. Sorry, I'm still trying to build my mental map sometimes. That is the room that's above the area that he brings you before. Okay. Oh, I got schmixed! Alright. I've achieved school! Or I will in a second when this guy leaves me alone. Oh, you know what? While we are here, it's an excellent time for me to try something else out for the game. So, there is a... Oops. Let me do this real quick. So I was talking a little bit about avoiding Lace, and that there is like a Lace cutscene, if you avoid Lace in Sinner's Road. And the idea is like, you enter Sinner's Road, and then Lace is sitting there, and she's like, oh, I see that... Actually, I don't really know what she says, because I've never done it before. And I kind of wanted to find out. But, I do wonder what will happen if I approach from the opposite direction. And the answer is that I cannot. Well, you know, that answers that. But theoretically, like, I feel like you could... Oh no, you probably do have to see her no matter what then. Because I was thinking the only other way to get to the Sinner's Road from behind is to go through the exhaust organ. But to get to the exhaust organ, you either have to go to Act 2, in which you'll already have seen her, or go through Biowater, which requires you to go through Sinner's Road. So unfortunately, we cannot skip Lace beyond starting Act 2. And we cannot mess with Lace by coming at her from behind. Even though I know some of you freaks want to. Dude, any time that I am using that bell to kill an enemy, like, that's hype. Cannot convince me otherwise. Alright, I went and committed murder for you. Please give me the, please give me the crafting kit. This guy issues many killings. Later in the run, he's going to give me a, I'm gonna purchase wine from him, and he's gonna send me to his cellar, in which case it will be a trap to get me to do more killings. Okay. Let's see what else we've got here. For the bugs of Farley, myself to kill another 39 before she gets me to a pouch. Which is sad. What else did I want to do? I have like a couple other things that I could be doing here. I could go get the new crest. If I do want some of the Ava stuff, I'm gonna have to get a new crest pretty soon. I mean, technically time is no issue, but I can't start working on upgrading more crest tool pouches if I have no more crests. So I should go and get a crest if I want to do some of the Ava stuff. On top of that, I'm trying to think. On top of that, I guess I really just wanted to go to Sinner's Road, and I can do that now, so... I don't know, maybe I will still get this crest first, but then I'm going to make it to Sinner's Road. Oh, I forgot to unlock that last time. Whoops! Alright. You know what? While we're here, we can go get one of my favorite tools. I don't think we can go there for quite the second. But we can grab the Pompilio. I don't know if I could really tell you what it is, other than some kind of explosive device. And if that doesn't make you excited, I don't know what will. Let's see, we do have craft metal. And so explosions, here we come. Pompilio! Or Pimpilio, sorry. So that was free and nice. I might go ahead and also grab this, I grab this flea while I'm at it. There is a flea up here that is somewhat free to get. Let me at least hit this button first in case I fall. That unlocks the elevator to halfway home. So if I do fall, I can just kind of go to halfway home and come back. There we go. So you might have seen me kind of pass a little passage when we went into Sinner's Road for a second. There was like a mysterious cave that I could investigate. That has like this guy there, Styx, I think it is, and he really wants me to sell him those Silksongs. So theoretically, every time I pick one of those up, it's effectively just money. But similar to the relics, it's money once I turn it in at the right location, and not beforehand. And unlike relics, I don't know how much I get for it. As in, like, it is random. So it might be a lot, it might be just a little bit. Usually it's at least somewhere in the range of like 90 to 150. Later we'll come back here. This is another area that I think is very fun. It does require double jump though, so for now we will descend back down and rescue our little flea. And with that done, I guess I'm just going on to... No. I wanted to open the gate, and I wanted to get the Reapers. Let's do that. ADHD brain does not let me remember what I was going to do. This is also the wrong direction. Come on, man! Come on, man! I think it's this way. Yeah, this is it. I do think it's really cool how they made those enemies like go through walls. Just a very sick mechanic. Also, I have so much more money than I'm used to having. This is an excellent time for me to go back and buy the crafting kit from the Forge Daughter. As well. And I probably do care enough about that to go get it. Speaking of how much I like those enemies. These guys are a lot easier to fight once you have parry. They kind of block your attacks, but if you have parry, you kind of just wait for them to attack you and then parry it. But of course, we don't have that yet. Because we're poor Act 1 fellows. And there we go. Now we get to steal their memories. If I can just go up the street passage. So this is a cool lore thing about this game, is that Hornet is like incorporating the memories and like personalities of these creatures into herself, which is really fun. That's why Ava is so shocked that we have Cress. As like, oh, you could incorporate kind of multiple personalities within yourself, not in the sense that they like take over who Hornet is, but in the sense that like she's able to kind of conquer these traits that she is drawing into herself. I don't think it ever changes dialogue throughout the game, which is probably for the best, but would have been sick. But I think it's a very cool mechanic. Alright, I need to make my way back to the halfway home. As cool of a mechanic as it is, I probably do want to stick to Hunter's Crest. I am most familiar with it, and I do also just like think it is generally like maybe the strongest one. It's also the only one you can upgrade, so it has that going for it as well. But there's a lot of reasons to use some of the other crests. I think personally, Reaper is what I used a lot of my first playthrough until I got Architect. Beast seems really cool, but Beast is like very much a high risk, high reward build. And that's kind of the opposite of what you want for one death and you lose. I know, shocking. Let's see. Sorry, for whatever reason that groan distracted me. I think we're ready for it. I think we're ready to behold the dangers of war. I do want to go back into the crafting kit, but we don't have to get it right this moment. I am realizing I did not equip the Pimpilio as I expected to, but there's another bench coming up, so we'll just hit it there. And here is the lace cutscene I've never seen before! Behold all new content! How sad! A little spider has fallen from its cage. I can't do that voice. How sad! A little spider has fallen from its cage. So lost, so weak. Poor little morsel. I can save you, little spider. All the trouble you'd face above. All the suffering. It's so simple. I'll just skewer you here and now. Pluck that flickering life right out of you. Your threats are worthless, child. If you are my foe, stay your voice and raise your blade. Delicious! I like you already. But what a bore it would be to cut you down now, when you're so achingly close to our grand citadel. Climb higher, little spider. I want to savor your struggle just a little longer. Coward! Yeah, new content. I had never seen that before. I'm like, that's hype. I do want to see what happens next time. If I do die, I would like to run through that again and do some of the same stuff. Oh my gosh, wait, did I? Oh, I wasn't even trying for the skip, and then I was like, oh, it's so close. I like actually could just do it on a whim. But nah. This is a very tricky area, so I do have to concentrate a little bit. A lot of these enemies do multiple damage, but most importantly, if I touch the water at all, it prevents me from using my next heal. Like, my next heal is effectively negated. Yeah, can you tell I've been playing Yu-Gi-Oh? And so, basically touching the water, at least in my mind, is effectively 3 damage. Which is more damage than anything else in the game. Like, that's the same damage that Grandmother Silk does with her, like, best attack. So, touching the water is really bad. I haven't experimented a lot. One of the things I do want to try out on, like, a casual file is how the, like, muck water, because that's what it is. It's like muck. How that interacts with some of the different binds. A lot of the crests that I use just like have the normal bind because I like the normal bind, but I would be interested to see like how the other binds change if you are mucked. Like maybe the beast crest doesn't give you the power boost, but still gives you the ability to heal or something. Like, I don't know. It could be really cool. Alright, I shall hunt some roaches for you, even though they're the most evil enemy in this game. Yeah, no, don't trust me, I do know how much trouble I've just promised myself. Those are, the muck roaches are evil. They're the little dogs that we dodged on the way here. You'll notice that you might have picked up that I opened a passageway and then just ignored it. It's because that passageway attracts the dogs, and it is not, at least in my opinion, not even worth trying to get the ability or get the like rosary string that it gives you if the dogs are gonna come for you immediately afterwards. So I opened it and then ran away, so that next time I'm in the room I can just like pick it up and pick it up safely. Also, This is not a good angle for me to fight them externally. I have already taken way more damage than I should. Okay. Luckily, we are at a checkpoint. Unluckily, this checkpoint does take a little bit of work. Luckily, we are sick of the video game. We are kind of sick with it. We are kind of sick with it. And some of these also can just like be ignored with good dashes. Of course, doing so carries risks, as you just saw. I feel like you are more likely to choke if you're trying to move a big distance like this. And yeah, you can actually see what my what being mucked looks like now. And that top left, I'm like covered in muck roaches, and if I try to heal, it's just gonna negate the heal. But luckily, the benches get rid of them. And I'm gonna equip the bomb now.
Los Kakor.
Buenera.
The environment is harsh indeed.
Mieszko.
Wonder. Oh, let's go! Actually fire. Okay, fighting the muck roaches is difficult. I'm gonna have to be very intentional about where I choose to fight the muck roaches for that quest. I am fairly incentivized to try to do the quest though, because tacks are, in my opinion, one of the best items in the game. Part of that is that I was chatting a little bit earlier about how I think it's difficult to focus on using like your tools and then coming back to using, you know, not tools again. And that is kind of resolved by tax, because tax does a ton of damage. You have a good number of them, and you kind of just set them on the floor and then let them do damage without thinking about it. You don't have to aim it or anything, they just do their thing. And so I do think for that reason, it's like a really valuable item. Alright, with that we actually can go to the mist now. That's kind of the last thing to do to go to the mist. Even still, I kind of would like to get the tax first, and I definitely want all the money first. It also would not hurt to open up a passage over here. That is the scary part about these guys. See if I can de-aggro them. Alright, only having one of those to deal with is way better than two. And now I can kind of just like domino them. I just have to make a little bit of an opening to get in. These guys are really tough because they do 2 damage. Any enemy that does 2 damage is threatening, of course. But on top of that, they really only do one thing. They walk up to you, and they leap at you. But the thing that makes them tricky is they do a good job of like backing up to threat you to walk forward. And then when they leap at you with different forward momentum every time. So you never, you want to be far enough away that you feel you could, that they're not going to hit you. But you do want to be close enough that you can hit them. And finding what the sweet spot for that looks like is very difficult. Just like fighting those guys is very difficult. This is a very hard area. I worry I came into this with too much confidence. But you know what? We are doing okay, so I will take it. This is the big thing I want to do, is hit that switch. Now, if we ever go to Biowater, we can make it through Biowater here if we end up going that route. Admittedly, we will probably still later in the game go from this area to Biowater and not the other way around. But I wanted to keep the options open. I also feel like having this key is quite nice, and I can go ahead and use the key, which is good. I think it's very, there's only 4 keys in the game, I think, and there's 4 places to put keys. And so the faster you can kind of cross off keys and locks pairs, I think the better. So there is both a key in this area and a lock in this area. Which we actually did pass. Eagle-eyed viewers might have already seen it. I can go ahead and break through this, but I'm not going to go through there. So I do not want to go to Biowater yet. Biowater... Actually, I could do Biowater. Just until the Bell Beast. That actually might be pretty beneficial with, not a ton of risk. Also, this is how hard, they know the buck roaches are hard. This one is, this whole flea is kill 1 muck roach and you get the flea. They know these guys are tough. Alright. Okay, now the other part that's nice about going this area is I can go in here and I can break this. And now we can go talk to our friend without going through Greymore. Wow, he really roars. Skinks. Sorry, not Sticks. Sticks is the other one that you talk with in normal mode. In normal mode, Sticks actually makes soap eaters, and then you can use them to recover your cocoon when you die. But because if you die in this game, it's over. There's never a cocoon to restore. So instead of making soap eaters, it finds a way that they still have use. And I think that's really cool. I just think this game is really neat. Okay, now here's the big question. I have some roaches I can still fight, and probably should still fight. Yo! Bro, fellow warrior, if you are wishing to lock blades, know you stand before the honored knight Garmond and my brave companion Zaza. Together, we will face bold to any challenge. I have no wish to fight you, Sir Bug. It is heartening to meet another on these roads of sound mind, and with fortitude enough to fight back against these haunted husks. Aye! Too many these unnatural opponents. We did hope Farloom's vast expanse would still possess some place free of the tainted thread. Alas, so far we've encountered only violence and decay. We greatly fear the haunting afflicts this kingdom all. Well, you know, there's a halfway home that you could go. But he'll be fine. Alright, I do think after we kill these roaches, we're still gonna need one more roach guts, which is a pretty unfortunate amount, admittedly, like all things considered. But I have a few thoughts about where we can pick one up. And then I have to decide if going through Biowater is worth it just to get the Bell Beast area in Biowater. And as much as I actually kind of do want to do the challenge right now, it's probably not worth it. We'll see if I decide to do it just for the challenge. Alright, all 0 people in chat, it's up to you. Type 1 if you think I should do the challenge, and 2 if you don't.
Me offended?
Whoa, it looks like the have it. There was no response from the no chat. There was something down here, right? Is that it? Money? That sucks. So you'll notice there's another one of those stinkers up there. There's actually one ahead that I'm gonna try to grab. Not that guy, but the one that's resting on the next platform. You might be able to see. The idea is that crazy enough, like the people of Sinner's Road eat these guys, which is unbelievable to me. They consider it a delicacy, apparently, but I'm gonna be honest, that looks nothing short of nauseating to me. Which I'm sure is right, but still, it's like, ugh. Ugh. I forgot there was another one! Oh no, he juked me! He got me! He's like actually sick with it, actually crazy with it. Oh, I forgot, we can get the best item in the game! Joke by the way. The item we've just picked up doubles the damage you take for the low price of dealing an extra 0.2 damage. 0.2 damage percent, I guess I should say. Like, it increases your damage by 20%. But you know, shockingly, I don't think that's worth cutting your health in half. I do kind of wish they would buff it, admittedly, because I feel like it would be quite strong if it doubled your damage in exchange for double the damage you take. I think that would be pretty fair, but I think my main concern with it as it is now is not that it's not great, but it's that it feels like unusable. Oh shoot. Okay, wait, hold on. I gotta focus here. Okay, that was scary. That was way closer than it should have been. That is the other tricky part about steel souling, and just areas like this in general, is that, I mean, the enemies don't have to kick your butt for you to die. Like, you just need to get unlucky once and you could lose. So you've got to be really careful. And admittedly, this is like the harder way to get tagged too. It's perhaps a little arrogant of me to try to go this way, but you do get some rewards. rewards. Like, you do get the tax here, which is really big. You get parry as like a silk skill instead of nothing that you get for beating the last judge. So that helps tremendously. And then you also get a better Act 2 start. Because when you start Act 2, if you go the other way, you have a little bit of an area to progress through, and then you're kind of in the bottom left corner, and your goal is like kind of the top right corner. So you have a long ways to go before you get to where you actually want to be. I'm realizing I don't know what health I have. So you have a long way before you actually get where you want to be if you go the normal route. But here we're going to pop up in the bottom right corner. So we do still have a ways to go. You still have to like go upwards, but it's a lot easier. And in return, you also get you also go ahead and get like the Grand Bellway as your location, which gives you both the Bell Beast and the Ventricle there, which is a method of transport in Act 2. The reason that's really important is because the Grand Bellway is the easiest way to go between Act 1 and Act 2 locations. And normally, if you go the normal way, you have to make it to that location either way if you go the normal direction. And this time we'll already kind of have one box checked off. I'm sure we'll still end up killing both bosses eventually though, but theoretically this like kind of saves you some time in the long run. Saves you some time in the long run and saves you some effort, I guess. Ease in the short run. Alright. Let's talk a little bit about the mist. There's a lot of cool things about the mist. One thing that is cool about the mist is that, where did they go? One thing that's cool about the mist, so this is a puzzle area here. And the puzzle basically is that when you sing to these fairies, they will fly towards the correct exit. So I want to say there's 8 rooms in this, and the 8 rooms are randomized. So the order is random, as well as the entrance that you enter from, as well as which exit is correct. So there's not really a way to cheat the system. But if you sing the fairies, they'll tell you which way you need to go. And then there are like some extra tips you can use. So for example, like in order to like get to the halfway point, there's like a little halfway room that tells you you've made it halfway there, just to like show on a casual playthrough that yes, you are going in the right direction, or yes, you're doing the right thing. That room is a left to right room, and what that means is that in order for you to access that room, you have to leave from a left or right exit. So in the speedrun, actually, they have all the rooms memorized, and they know for certain rooms that like some rooms don't have a left and right exit, and so there's like a way that you can reset which room you're going into. Sorry, I'm doing a very poor job explaining this, and it's because I'm fighting for my training life. These guys do 2 damage and take away some of your healing ability, and so I'm just like trying to be really careful. Going through walls also does actually make them really tough to combat, in my opinion. Okay. Sorry, so that halfway point is a left or right room. So a lot of times, like, speedrunners will know generally... Yeah, this is the left or right room. So this is the halfway point. You'll see it has a left exit and a right exit. And so they know that if a room has, like, a left exit, for example, and they've come through the only right exit, then they know, and it's like they have the checkpoint next, they know the checkpoint has to be the left exit, because it has to kind of connect to that halfway room if it can. You can get unlucky if a room has no left or right exit beyond the one that you started in. um, sometimes you'll just get an extra room as a result, which is unfortunate if you're a speedrunner. Obviously for us, we don't really care. Like, technically there's a little bit more danger doing another room, but it's kind of negligible. We have to do 8 of these anyways. What's one more? Especially when the difficulty comes from trying to do it too fast. That's a, okay, that does work. I did still take damage for it, but, you know, I learned something new. This way? Okay. I've made mistakes. Okay. I got 2 of them. Oh, look, we're at the end. I did not feel like 8 rooms. Maybe it's not 8 rooms. Maybe it's a little. Or maybe it is 8 rooms that exist, but you don't have to do all of them. I don't know. But welcome, my friends, to the exhaust door again. We're gonna skip it for now. I'm kidding. Oh, I can't go through here. Never mind, we won't skip it. I was just gonna grab a checkpoint and buy a water, but I can't do that yet. So yeah, it's the exhaust organ. There's nothing really here other than a couple of moths and the boss that we will fight. So let me just go heal here. There are some fun secret-y things around here that I'll jump in. But the main puzzle behind this area is there's a lot of these like hollow column chambers, and as you can see, this like highly pressurized steam rushes through here at certain intervals. So the idea is just you gotta get to the top without getting slammed. It's also kind of a maze at the same time. Admittedly, like I kind of know the maze a little bit already, so it's not going to feel as much like a maze, but it will still feel a little bit like one. I don't know it perfectly, and I know that I want to find the secret area, so never mind, I found it. Gotta get ourselves our flea, because we're a flea friend. Awoo! Chat, give me an awoo. I gotta heal again. And now, our haunting music comes to a crescendo. You know, doing Silksong is not the time to experiment, but I admittedly was a little tempted to use the Beast Crest. There's a very funny way that you can. Oh shoot! I'm like. Oh gosh! I like actually am kind of dying. Oh, sorry. I'm focusing. I'm focusing. Everybody stand back! I'm about to clutch! The main thing is I just like have to not get hit by those random like, pin attacks because it's a sign of me getting too greedy. And realistically, I should never be getting hit by them, but I am a greedy person. I will not lie. Alright, we got so real, Phantom. Me on a Monday. See, and now she thinks that she can teleport everywhere. I can't hit her as much, and she's wrong. Parry! Dude, coolest way you learn a skill in this game. The funniest part is, like, all the Silk skills are skills that, like, you go into an area, and then you, like, lean against a device, and it imbues you with the knowledge of how to use the skill. Except for two. One of them is one I'll save for later, which is not as cool, but still cool. And then the other one is this one, which is so sick! Where you, like, learn it in the moment and kill somebody with it. Because you've learned from watching her. That's so cool. The other thing that I think is really, really fun about this boss fight, if you have not played the game yourself, and if you have not, I apologize, because what I'm about to tell you that's really cool about it is the fact that you don't know about it, and now you know about it. But when you play this game for the first time, you will almost certainly fight the last judge. And finding out that there is a way to get to Act 2 is like, whoa, like a different way to get to Act 2 is like, whoa, that's really cool. And then finding out that there is a massive boss fight behind it and giving it a shot and fighting this boss for the first time and seeing like the animations behind it and the dedicated area is like, this is incredible. And sure enough, it is incredible. So we have so much money right now. Oh my gosh. I am going to start buying maps a little bit here. That is because I can't just auto buy all of them. Or not auto, but I can't just like spam buy map from Chakra for those in the end. The Citadel maps, like, you kind of do have to buy on their own. And instead of walking back to every map in existence, I would rather just do this. I'm going to go ahead and get that crafting kit while I'm thinking about it. So there's a couple actually that I want to go to. Farfields has a new item that I can get now that I have the double jump. Maybe we'll do that one first. And then Deep Dogs has the crafting kit, which is obviously going to be helpful. I'm getting back in the pit. Spooky. Alrighty. The platforming in this game, I think, is really smooth, and I really do appreciate it. I am kind of a platforming enjoyer, I would say. I've played Celeste, I've played, I feel like that's the main one that I've enjoyed for platforming genre, actually, but I don't know. I like platformers. It's nice that just the movement is so smooth. That was embarrassing. And now I gotta do the whole thing again! Ah! It's totally fine. Because we're so good at it, we'll just do it. Try twice. Go. Okay. And ooh. Sorry if I've sounded a little bit nasally throughout this too, by the way. My nose has been running just a wee bit. Probably because it is so cold. Oh, I hear it. Where is it? Where is it? Here you go, little buddy. I hear you too. Oh shoot. This guy is a massive pain to deal with. He is completely invulnerable from the front. All of his attacks do 2 damage. And he's got a lot of health. And he's gonna kill me. And he's still gonna kill me. I can retreat if I decide to. Although it might be, I should. Please. Oh! Get me out of here! Dude, that was way too close. That was way too close. I don't think I had my mask break, but I actually was not paying attention there. I might have to see that on the replay, but I actually was like kind of freaking out there. I'm sure that's a death sentence for him since I left this guy alive, but... Oh, he's not here anymore. I'm sure that will have no negative consequences for this area. Dude, like, actually, I'm kind of shocked that the rhinoceros beetle is not still there. Fair enough, you know. If they're not gonna pressure me, I guess I'll just leave. Okay, where do I want to go next? I had another location in mind that I have forgotten. The Forged Otter, again. I keep forgetting. Quick, before my ADHD goes. Righty. I am actually a little curious if Lace will now still fight me on that arena. I'm gonna go look. But first, I'm gonna get money. Actually, I do think that tool's pretty good. I don't know if it's worth spending the craft metal on specifically, but it is pretty good. If I say yes here. Yeah, she's just not here anymore. Woohoo! Oh, we never hit this bell. This is one of the other last judge requirement bells. That's so funny. Since I'm here already, there is some more stuff we can get in the far fields at this point. I think we've got just about everything, but there is the Beast Crest, and there is the Silk Anklets, now that we have the Harp as well. So let's go do both of those. We're already here. Oh wait, we already teleported from here back. I am dumb. Where was it that I would go? I would go here. I need to remember where the ant area is. Or all the different entrances to Hunter's March. I know there's the one in the Marrow, which is where I went last time. Is that the only one? I feel like there's also one right before you get Dash, actually. Which means it would be back in the Deep Docks. So perhaps I'm very far away from that, actually. But you know what? It's fine, it's fine. It's my time. I can waste it if I want. I do still want to get these Silk Anklets, regardless. Ideally, I could have gotten the flea brew. If you have the flea brew and the silver anklets here, you can get like a rune harp, which is money. It is unfortunate that I don't have that, because I think you do need both of them. And obviously you get the silver anklets here, so I do have that now, but I would need both. Well, get back. Get back. Yeah, so I'll get the beast crest here. Where are the other crests that I have to get? The witch's crest is a whole quest that we will get later. That's available in Act 2. The wanderer's crest I could probably get now, but I do think I actually think I can get it with clean grip. I might need to get harpoon though, so I'll probably just get harpoon just to cover my bases. It seems like, unless I'm missing something, it seems like this ant area and the other ant area don't actually connect to each other. Which might be an intentional design decision, because they later are connected through the, like, hunting ground area. But at least at this current time, I don't think they are. Which is interesting. If we haven't gotten a spool... Does that mean we also haven't done the challenge down here to get us a spool? A spool? Maybe not. This is why I need a checklist, so I can know these things. Because I don't know if I've done this challenge. Oh, I think I have with the way those are set up. I have, okay. Well, at least it was a quick check. That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. Okay. Note to self. Be a little bit more careful when I fight that guy. Okay, let's get the other thing, which is... I did want the ant area, and I also do want... I'm actually going to go this way for now, though, because the other thing I do really want is the the mass shard up there. And so that mass shard is something that I think I get really late in the game. Just because you're always going through this room at the very beginning. But now I have clean grip, which means that I can just go up here, go up this way and get it, I believe. Oh my, oh, that was Peb. That was Peb. That's why she dropped so much money. Well, thanks for the stuff, Peb. I'll spend your money in your honor. They have a lot of these. I actually think this is really cool. It's shocking to me that other games don't really do this in retrospect. That, like, you have a lot of games that have, and Hollow Knight's kind of like this, where it's very much like the prime part of the game is the bosses. And I do think one thing that I really appreciate about Silksong is they made the regular enemies like actually difficult. Not so much that, like, we're not talking like Dark Souls, the run back is part of the challenge, but we are talking about like getting from place to place is tough. And I appreciate that they leverage that by also making these kinds of rooms. where like, yes, you do have boss fights and the like, but you also get to have like room and like enemy fight areas too, and I think that's really cool. And just, anyways, I think it's neat. Oh, I didn't realize there were enemies here. Wow, there's a lot of enemies here, actually. That's really cool. I don't remember what's over here. Oh, it's just the way to the bench. I don't actually remember how to get there. I don't. Oh, this is where you go to the slab. And this guy is like a unique enemy. So I did kill him. I was hoping that would reward me with something. You are supposed to get trapped by him. And then if you do get trapped, you get teleported to the slab. And then you get to go do slab adventures. Slab adventures are very fun. But it is also, if you get captured by him, you have to do it with some difficulty. You get like all your items taken away from you, and even your needle taken away from you. And it's a really cool segment. But doing it in Steel Soul mode, I'd rather do it with the added tooling, let's say. Because if I do it now that I've killed him, like if I go there regularly, I'll have all my equipment and I'll be able to kick his butt theoretically. Or, you know, go through the area with less difficulty, I mean. All right. Now we can go up here. And we get to fight who I think critics are saying is the greatest boss made ever since Godskin Duto. That's right. We're fighting the one and only Savage Beastfly. He is very annoying. And I'm gonna be real with y'all. There is a real chance that I die here if I get very unlucky. Because unfortunately, it's not just a matter of like, can I beat the Beastfly? But it's a matter of how many people does he get the chance to summon? Of what type does he summon people? And does he like properly kill the people he summons? Like if he summons a bunch of guys and he does not end up, you know, and stuff like that can happen too, where I just randomly take 2 damage out of nowhere, 4 damage out of nowhere. You'll notice he really does not have like a lot of visuals on his attacks, which I think are tough. On top of that, I do just think like the fact that he touches you and you take 2 damage, you know, is not nothing. Ugh. And because he has like the flying movement, it's very difficult to like confidently hit him knowing you won't get hit. Like I feel like a lot of times I am attacking him being like, alright, if you fly the direction I don't expect, I'm taking damage. Alright, you know what? That wasn't too bad. I got really lucky with the enemies he summoned, so that was very positive. He's able to summon those guys, and that felt very reasonable. But he can also summon the like shell guys who stick out a bunch of spikes. Those aren't too bad, but they do take up space for a long time because they're very difficult to get rid of. And then he can summon the giant flying ones that do like the flail that does 2 damage. And that one is especially scary. All of those he can actually kill on the down attack though. Like when he's standing up tall and then he crashes into the ground, he can actually kill his allies. And so in an ideal world, you have him kill his own allies, and that's really helpful. But of course, that is in an ideal world. Now, notably, I cannot heal currently. I can now that this guy is here. Thank you. Get real angry. And I think this crest is very strong. I think on a casual playthrough, this crest is frankly incredible. But from a... I think it's difficult because it is strong if you are good at the game, but also it is risky enough to probably not be like a great choice on a Steel Soul playthrough. And so I feel like it kind of does fall into a issue of there's not really as much of a place for it as I'd like. I do kind of wish they would buff it. 2 yellow and 2 red means you get no blue crests, which is kind of rough. You do effectively get some like built-in blue crests. You get to move faster. You get to like your bind increases your attack and is very fast. And then you heal when you hit people for the next couple seconds. So it's kind of like having a built-in fast bind with some extra steps. But like I would have loved to see red, yellow, blue. Right, and I know you'll get a blue and a yellow for all crests later, but it feels like they very much built this crest with that in mind, where the other crests like do not feel like they were built with that in mind. Like it just feels a little bit too limited. Still, silk anklets is probably not good actually. I don't really want to use up my silk if I can help it. Let's do this. Okay. We've got some more people to fight here. Now that I have the cling grass or whatever. There is another pseudo boss fight here. And this one is a little trickier than the last one because of a secondary friend who's here. It's worth noting, I very much feel if I kill this guy, as I just have, this enemy is, if you are careful, kind of free. I think the thing that makes it really tough is the flying enemy, because they just complement each other very well. But look, if we were not rich before, we are rich now. Nearly $2,000 is kind of insane. And we've done, I guess, all the challenges here. At least until Act 3. Except for the challenge of watching where I'm going. That one's a tough one. And walking to the right place as I'm leaving through a much worse exit than the way I got in. But you know, it's fine. It's fine. It's, you know, I find it a little unfair that enemies are able to block you. That's like my thing. Oh man, and I'm choking. I'm like actually choking. But we're living. That's the thing about Steel Soul. It sounds really intimidating, but I guess just the way that healing is designed in this game Like, for any area, you kind of can just, like, say, hey, I'm gonna take a step back and heal myself. And, like, unless you're in a boss fight, like, you always have that option. And that's just so positive, I feel. I mean, we saw it with the Rhino boss fight. Like, I mean, that's not, like, that's a pseudo boss fight, I suppose you could say. But in that case, I was like, hey, I'm taking damage, and I don't like it. I'm taking a step back, and we'll get back to this when I feel confident. And it's just nice to have those options. So with that, with the stuff that we just purchased, I know I've been on a big tangent. Okay, so I'm at 2 and 2. I know that there is, I'm trying to think where the other pouches are. I know one of them is for, what's his name? One of them is for fleas, with the Fleetopia people. I don't remember where the other pouch is. And then I know one of the enhancement kits is with Grindel, and the other one is with the Architect, if I recall. But overall, I'm feeling pretty happy about our progress here. We've got 6 masks. I think these are all 6 that are present in Act 1. I believe there are 6 present. And while, like, technically we've made it to Act 2, we haven't seen the Act 2, like, title drop yet. So I don't think we've gotten any masks that are, like, Act 2 locked. Did get our needle +1. Looking at the time here, I probably do have to get off pretty soon. I do think though we could fight Clockwork Dancers before I go though. So let's go ahead and do that. I wanted to get to Act 2 today. Arguably we are, but arguably we are not. So let's make it official, and then let's fight our first boss. Steam and iron and gold and silk. What a pretty palace! Act 2. Citadel of Song. We're making our way to the top, baby! We just chatted! What's this? The spider arrives at last, here to stand a quiver at our startling citadel.
Benefrey.
Pale child, you return only to mock? Your lands have yet to prove my match. This sleeping citadel shall be no different. Spider dear, why must you remain so distressingly optimistic? The power that waits above you cannot conceive. Her who would snuff that hope with barely a glance. Fool child, you still think me blind to the form of your liege, having come this far? The land's grandeur, the devotion of its bugs, and the curse that befalls them. The signs are clear. Your kingdom is in the thrall of a creature beyond bug, one that is higher caste. Whatever its desire for my silk and my shell, it shall find I'm quite attached to both. Marvelous! So the spider knows something of a fathomless beings, and still it hopes to stand against one, a god. Where do you hide this boundless strength you claim, spider? I've watched your struggle towards us. Yours was a painful, broken trek. One needs grace to stand before the divine.
Vienta!
Then best you keep watching, child. I found those who claim themselves a god can rarely match the title. And experience tells me even gods can fall. Lace successfully rage baited. Grandmother Silk successfully rage me. Me successfully dead. All according to Keikaku. Okay, well, he was supposed to run into it. Okay, cool. That would have been a lot cooler if the timing had worked out. Trust. That took me 4 hits. I thought most of the time that one only took 3 slashes. At the very least, I'm getting a lot of info for the monstrologist. Oh, that's where the other two pouch is with whatever her name is. The child who wants me to kill everything. Yeet. He's too far gone. It's so funny. This game is kind of all about a pilgrimage of making it to the top. You go all the way to Act 1. You go all the way to the top of the Act 1 area. You're climbing and climbing and climbing. You make it to Act 2. Oh, like, immediately you have to go up. And if you go the other direction, you go up a ton. And if you go the other direction and you haven't played this game before, you, like, fall down again and have to climb your way, crawl your way back up to the Coral Citadel's Doors. And it's very thematic. And then you make it to the top, and you kind of just stop. Like, you can get to the cradle, theoretically. But a lot of it is attempting to unlock the elevator to make it truly to the top. I just find that interesting. You kind of take a break from going to the top. And it's Mr. Act 3 himself here to tell us. I don't really know. I still feel like I don't really get this guy. He's like both begrudgingly like, I don't want to help anybody. I don't care about this place at all. But also when you help this place and you help the people in it, he's like, wow, actually you're an awesome person and here's Act 3. So he's just a tsundere, I guess. Oh, I should actually unlock the teleport waypoint, shouldn't I? Teleport waypoint. Genshin Impact. 'Tis all the same. Alright, I'm gonna beat these guys up, and then we're gonna listen to the Clockwork Dancers, which are great, and then I'm gonna call it a day, I think. By the way, it's very funny, these guys and, these guys actually have the color aesthetic of being from the Forgotten Halls? Not the Forgotten Halls, what is it called? The area to the right here that I have forgotten the name of and will remember later. And I think that's fascinating because they are some of the only enemies in the game that have an attack that you are just like supposed to full hop over, which is this attack where he like sends his violent sword out. And the only other enemy that has an attack in this game like that is an enemy in the like Forgotten Halls. And so it's like, I don't know, there's just like cool gameplay aesthetics where like a lot of the sword enemies are, you can almost like tell where they train by how their sword attacks are. And that's super cool. Like I can tell that these guys trained in literally nowhere because they're pushovers. And it's just like little fun facts like that. is okay. They're only pushovers because they are fly as hell. They focus too much on slaying and not enough on actually like slaying, if that makes sense. But you know what? They did slay me with that one. I'll give them that one. You know what? I don't know if I accidentally switched with them. Okay, I did not. So the Clockwork Dancers are really interesting because they each have their own health bar. So you'll notice I am always hitting the one on the right. This is actually a speedrunning strat. The idea is that because they both have their own health bar, and killing one effectively, ends the fight in all of its, difficulty. The best thing to do is to kill one of them as fast as possible. And the one that you can kill as fast as possible is the one on the right, because when they combine to do their like big slash in the center, their hitbox counts for the one on the right specifically. So if you turbo the one on the right like I just did, the last one is easy. Especially because this one, I don't know exactly how it works, but I think like they only give it one more phase, right? So even though I didn't deal damage to this guy like the whole time, I still only have to fight 4 phases. So kind of nice. In fairness, I do think it's like 4 phases no matter what. So if you do 2 on one guy and then 1 on the other, I think you would still end up fighting only 4 phases. But I don't know. Alright. They do declare, please play that funky beat. And I tell them, I got no funky beats in me. And they say, alright, you gotta go learn the ways of the world. By the powers of rap, techno, and hip-hop, you must riz them up, and then they will lift you up. And there we go. That's kind of all I wanted to hit for the day. I am enjoying it. I might be a little irresponsible and try to squeeze out a little bit more. Just grab the fruit that is Silksong and squeeze out as much juice as I can. Because I do kind of want to play a little longer. And we got stuff to do. We got, right here, we got a mask to get, which is going to be fun. We've got also, there's another spool that's very easily available to me from that other room. I will have to get back there for that one, though. This guy's kind of a pain without Harpoon. I'm just going to let that deal with him. Ah! He lived! He's goated! This guy's also going to be kind of tough. That's not what I wanted to do. And this is why attacks are good, folks. That's why attacks are good, folks. Oh, I'm bad. Did you know they used to do 2 damage? The gears used to be just as like painful as like lava. I'm very happy that's not the case anymore, to be honest. I feel like that's pretty brutal. I do think you can kind of tell that it's intended to do 2 damage, but I mean, I'm gonna be real. I think it's a lot better every game. It does not, and that's not just because it's easier. There's a lot of things in this game that I think really could have afforded to stay as hard as they were, but this is not one of them. I hate this guy. I'm gonna let these attacks go. Let's go, Tax! Tax, best item! I hope I heal when I grab the mask. That would be like really embarrassing if I don't. Shoot. Alright, theoretically I should just like run backwards again. There's more stuff out there, but like I don't have to take it from this area, and I think it's gonna be safer for me not to. I would love to go back and get that bench though. I need to get that benchmark. I've never seen that before. Two of them trying to start in the same area. That's usually how you deal with those guys, by the way. I really have not been doing so that way, but ideally you just like let them run to a ledge and then kill them. Oh, this has like a mini boss in here, like an enemy you don't see anywhere else. I remember there was one time I was doing a Silksong or a Steel Soul run, and I was like, this guy seems really hard actually. But I have been fighting him lately because I feel like I realized like he's actually not that tough. He can kind of get you with those bombs, and that is, I mean, that is painful. Like I did face Tinks up there, and I do think that is showing that he is hard enough that like perhaps in saying he is not that hard, I am underestimating him. But also, like if you get stuck in the room with him, I feel like it's not actually the end of the world. Like it's not ideal, of course, still, but this is where I'd love to have Harpoon. Oh well. Sweet. So with that, we have almost all of this room complete. This room is tricky in my opinion. I will be case in point. I will be very case in point. I would be very happy to be done with this room. I think it is very scary. I've certainly lost runs to it before. So I've got to be very careful here, but the hope is that if he walk into the spikes of the other guy, he will. The hope is that I can get back up to the top without dying. But there's a couple things that I want to hit along the way. So really the next place that I need to go is simply to the closer exit over here. I just gotta focus for a moment. You gotta forgive me for putting a pause on my incredible commentary. So that I can get up top. So here's one checkpoint. I can't go to a bench here, which is nice. This is the area that I need to go to next. But if I go up top, there's like another checkpoint next to the bench, and that's like kind of ideal. I'm so good at that. I'm like actually fire. I'm gonna be so real. I actually am pretty proud of myself for hitting that so fast. I typically quite struggle with it. We don't have Harpoon, so I can't do much with this yet, but I can at least make it more accessible for when I do have Harpoon. There is another shortcut that this unlocks. I don't know if I want to, as much as I am like enjoying the idea of getting more done tonight and playing more of the game, I don't know if I really want to do High Hall, or not High Halls, whatever it's called. The area that I cannot remember its name that I also earlier was trying to reference and could not remember its name. You know, that one. The one that I can't say for some reason. The one that I've been cursed to never name again. I mean, I guess I'll be there in a second, but I can kind of just walk in and then make a checkpoint and walk out. So I might just do that. Oh, actually, I think there is a arena battle here I have to do first. But I'm not too worried about the arena battle. The enemies are pretty basic. And it's right here! Look, they're in, like, pews! I do really appreciate that this arena, in its aesthetics, is just very distinct and different from everywhere else. Like, it's cool. It's cool! This game is just cool! Get pogoed, idiot! Get pogoed, idiot! Dude, I'm an idiot. I got pogoed. Ooh, I got sniped. Dude, that was crazy. Alright, watch this mix, watch this mix. Boom! I'm so good! That was way too close. The problem is, like, it's kind of difficult for me to heal as long as I have this person throwing bells at me. Oh my gosh! Dude, I got served! That was insane! I know that has a hitbox behind it, the little, like, needle and thread strike, but, like, I was not expecting it to, like, perfectly hit me on the end. That was crazy. Okay, that was a really bad performance in that arena, but luckily that arena is baby easy, so I'm okay. Whispering Vaults, that's the name. Sorry, I actually did say it earlier, I just whispered it so you couldn't hear me. Dude, I'm bad, I'm bad. Just kidding. Sorry, something about me telling myself that I'm bad, like, forces me to reevaluate what I'm doing, and that makes me good at the game. It's very oxymoronic. Enclave! Alright, so the Whispering Vaults has some pale oil in it that we will want to do next time, that we'll want to grab and then go get a needle upgrade. We also still need to talk to the chef. The chef is in the left part of Coral Chambers. We need to talk to him to initiate a quest. And I think those are our two main goals. Because I really just want to get the needle upgrades as fast as possible. There's some other stuff that would be very helpful. Going to the White Ward is very helpful here. I would love to get some extra upgrades before I challenge the Unraveled, but going through it at least once will help me unlock Sherma's quest, which I need to do. So that would be good. We're also gonna have to fight Grohl at some point, but I also think we should at least get the Wreath of Purity before we do that too. Anyways, there's a lot more to do, and in order to see me do it, you're gonna have to join me next time. So I will see you then. Yeah, sounds good. Thanks for joining me, and remember, you've got a steel soul. See ya!